Hey folks, Craig from the Vinyl Record Player. Got a Dots and Loops entry here today. Not doing the full 100, so take a breath. Just doing 10. Buckle up. All right, and we're back. Just want to give a shout out to Dots and Loops for this crazy contest. If you're aggressive about it, you can apparently do 101 actual records. I will shout out the contest below. Also, Lost Mixtapes, want to give a shout out to his channel, who clued me into this whole thing. I thought we had to do 101 records, and I'm like, it's not going to work for me. I just, it's a lot of records. But he's like, you know what? No, if you do 10 or 20, 10 you get a single entry to win the Black Sabbath OG. You can do 20, you get 2 entries, etc., etc. So if you're in the vinyl community and you're thinking about doing it, I mean, who doesn't love contests that are this fun? So let's just go ahead. I got my 10 albums. I've selected them. Let's go. We're going with, to start with, a title with fewer than 5 letters. What about Isaac Hayes' Joy from 1973? Wow, great album. Kind of edging towards the end of the Enterprise Stax, his association with them. If you know anything about Stax, by 75 or even 74, they were very much donezo. Isaac Hayes, although obviously was a huge part of their success with Shaft, this album is good. The epic title track, I think it's about 15 minutes. Should be about 15 minutes, this big dog, is a listen. It's, I call it a loving record, even. But great record in general. Anything early 70s by Isaac Hayes that you can pick up, you should do so. All great stuff. Let's talk about a record that is a horrible pressing, reversed. And let's talk about my stupid ass. This is Otis Blue. Otis Redding Sings Soul, classic. What is it? Oh, it's on the ACO label, of course. Reprint, so it's on Blue label. So I initially had this as a. I'm still gonna run this though. I still had it as a record that's a horrible pressing. Here's the idiocy of the whole thing. Turned out the other day I was working on my old receiver just to make sure everything was good, everything was fine. Well, I left one of the channels unplugged. And I was like, this Otis Redding record, I cannot hear the vocals, sir. I cannot hear them at all. Well, maybe you had both channels plugged in, bro. You would have heard them. So this is a once horrible pressing provided by a not very smart mistake. In the end, it's a great ass pressing. I listened to it, I hooked up the channels, and everything was fine. So not a horrible pressing, but a great pressing. But sounds horrible if you only listen out of one side. Let's talk about a record you're supposed to like, but don't. Boss Skaggs, 1969, his debut. I guess he'd been with the Steve Miller Band. A great sort of opening. Mazzy bigs up this record all the time. Man, did I try. I got 2 copies of this. This is probably my friend's copy because he was giving away a bunch of records. I'll take it. I think it's not that I don't like White Soul or Blue-Eyed Soul as it's known, but it's more a case of I just feel like he's trying to spread himself too thin. There's some country on here. There's all these genres, and I don't get a real sense for who Boz is. So yeah, I've tried and I've tried and I've tried. And you know what? I truly believe that if you keep trying, or if you put a record away, come back in a couple years, you'll just be like, what was I thinking? This could be one of those, but Boss Skaggs' debut, I think it was from 69, never really got with it, unfortunately. Let's talk about a record with the most organ, and I wasn't sure that it's the most organ, but these guys do organ, and they do it a lot. I'm talking about Uriah Heep, Demons and Wizards from 1972, on the Mercury label. This is hard rock, people. If you don't know Uriah Heep, you probably do. If you listen to classic rock radio at any point, Easy Livin' was kind of their big jam. But wow, Uriah Heep, starting in 70, maybe 69, just phenomenal hard rock albums. Like, they're not afraid to rip, is what I'm saying. And Ken Hensley, who is, of course, their organist slash often songwriter, this guy's got just organs all over, but not just your classic Hammond sound. He's throwing distortion in the mix. There's a lot of stuff. Key track on this, I think, in terms of the organ anyway, would be, I think it's on side 2. Let's see. On side 2, we're talking about Rainbow Demon. I mean, obviously, with a name like Rainbow Demon, you're like, oh, where do I hear that? Check it out. Again, very heavier sort of Hammond organ, but man, I'm a monster Hammond organ fan. These guys are great if you're looking for something to rock out with. Right here, Demons and Wizards, 1972. All right, next up, record that made me high, continues to make me high. It's almost addictive. I'm talking about Fully Exposed, Willie Hutch, 1973. This is of course, his first LP on Motown Records. He had moved from RCA after working with a fantastic producer named John Flores. They made just 2 stunning albums that sold a total of 0 copies. So he's like, okay, well, we'll go to Motown. There's some great clips of Willie doing some jams from this on Soul Train from the early 70s. But this is just a benchmark record. He comes out and destroys it, in my opinion. In my opinion of his funkiness. Anyway, I mean, I Want to Be Where You Are. Wow. California My Way is a particular favorite of mine, as you might imagine. Tell Me Why Has Our Love Gone Cold? Oh, killer. Sunshine Lady. Again, this is just back to, this is almost, for some funk and soul singers, this would be a greatest hits, friend. And it continues to, as the question notes, make me high. Fully Exposed, 1973. Let's talk about a record that flopped. But Billy Preston's encouraging words. You're like, how could it have flopped, Craig, with an opening track like Right Now? And I'm like, you know what? You know why? Because Beatles. Unpopular opinion? Maybe. But this was around the time where the Beatles, they had started their own label and Apple. Turned out maybe artists sometimes aren't the best business people ever. So basically, in 70, there had been a previous album. I think it's That's the Way God Planned It, which is also phenomenal if you actually happen to see it. That sold a few more copies. It was more popular in the UK. There was some singles released off of that one. This, of course, was the follow-up from 70. Didn't really sell a lick because, unfortunately, it was boggled. Or, it was a big snafu. Didn't work because basically the Beatles were kind of dissolving Apple and it got no attention. Anyway, great record. Love me some Billy Preston. But his first 2 albums on Apple, which this is one, I believe. I think we may even be able to show that for all the Beatles folks. See? On Apple. Anyway, this is a repressing, a very quiet repressing. I'm not the biggest fan of this, but again, try to get an original of this stuff. Nobody bought it. But again, not because it's not quality. Billy Preston, 1970, encouraging words. All right, a soul classic. If you're a watcher of this channel, are very aware of Jerry Butler's Spice of Life, or Offering the Spice of Life. Soul classic. I think the best double soul LP ever released. It's actually a mint copy with a bullet hole, so it's not mint, but that's fine. Wow, plays lovely. This is worthy. There is a clip on YouTube where you can play this whole album, but this again has never been released on CD, so in digital format, almost impossible to get this record. But wow, Jerry is just all over this. It's magic, it's symphonic, it's funky. Jerry he's talking about now, societally, but this is 1972. It's just a beautiful record. My soul classic, Spice of Life, Jerry Butler. All right, a record you have no idea why you own it, because you have never listened to it. Yeah, I know. If you're a Spiritualized fan, you're probably like, I'm going to turn off this video now. And you would be totally wrong, to be honest, but I kind of lost my love and feeling right around this time. An Amazing Grace for Spiritualized. You know what I would love is a copy of Ladies and Gentlemen, We Are Floating in Space. That, I think, is just an outstanding record. This is good. I just haven't really listened to it almost at all. It's actually a double pressing too. So there's 2 LPs in here, I think. A, B, C, and D, as they say. I know, it's foolish, but I just, kind of don't know why I bought this record because I just literally never listened to it. Okay, Electronic Dreams. I'm getting a sense that this is just about electronic stuff, so I'm gonna pop on a little bit of Burial, if you like, from I believe it's from 2006. This is also a double LP, double pressing. Dubstep, sort of the hallmarks, the beginning, the corner. What am I looking for? The foundation of dubstep. Before it got a little weird and a little too noisy. Anyway, the dude from Burial did like 2 albums, or Burial did 2 albums, and then just kind of fell into space. And I'm like, oh, bro, what? I haven't to buy this. I haven't heard this in a long time. I'm actually probably going to listen to this today because, yeah, good stuff. Electronic dubstep, but a lot of cool soul, sort of vocal samples and snatches from 70s songs and stuff. Oh, it's the Business Friends, Burial. I believe it's just called Burial from, I think it's 2006. And a memory record brings back old emotions, flavorful emotions, I would even say. By the way, if you're still here, like and subscribe, dog. Are we not liking? Are we not subscribing? We should be. It's all free, right? It doesn't cost you a dime. A memory record brings back old memories. We're talking about Blue. Joni. I lived in San Francisco for a little bit of a time, and I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I've had this record for decades, but for some reason I started putting this on. There's a phenomenal track, and I don't remember which one it is. It might be California, but it could be something else. But there's a great bit where it goes, "I drew a map of Canada, oh Canada," and I won't spare you the note on that one. But wow, that was, to me, as a Canadian living in and sort of not necessarily living, but being in the United States as much as I was. This record was it was poignant, it was crushing to me, but it was just so beautiful and made me harken back for the place I know to the north. Anyway, Joni Mitchell, Blue, you really should have this if you're a fan of any genre. This is one of those like top 10 albums of all time type of businesses, so please check it out. But yeah, that's my Dots and Loops entry for today. Like, subscribe. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment if you're like, man, what a terrible pick, bro. I would have chose, boom, whatever you want to do. And I will say that I will see you on the next one.